All right, guys. So what you just saw was the little short trailer of the 911, the Blackout teaser video that came out on July 20th, 2021. Okay. So it was quite a long time ago. It was last year. Um, but I'm going to show you how this is all tied to the predictive programming that they've been, you know, talking about. So let's jump right into it. So this song that was used in this trailer is called "Paint It Black" by the Rolling Stones. Pretty much everyone knows this song. And in my last videos, I was talking about how the Seattle Seahawks former quarterback Russell Wilson, who now plays for Denver, and he played in the electricity game. And if you guys don't know what the electricity game is, go back and watch my last video or my last couple videos so you understand the information. I'm not going to rehash that here. For those of you who are caught up, you know that Russell Wilson is clearly tied to this. And I'm going to show you just how crazy it is that his wife is also tied to this. So you have the song "Paint It Black," that was made by the Rolling Stones in 1966. Okay, it was off their album Aftermath. Right? Doesn't that sound like the aftermath of a blackout? Right? And again, one of the most famous bands of all time. So there's not much more to say about that. You guys know who the Rolling Stones are. But at the same point, guess who made a cover of this song? Well, it was none other than Russell Wilson's wife, and she made it for the movie. She did a cover of "Paint It Black," and she did a cover of it for the movie "The Last Witch Hunter." Look at this, guys. I mean, just look at the symbolism here. And get it. She's wearing black. It's all about blacking out, right? And Russell Wilson was in the electricity game, and his wife happens to cover the same song that's used on this trailer for 911 The Blackout. And this blackout happens in Los Angeles. However, in tomorrow, the Seahawks, Seattle, plays Los Angeles Chargers, the electricity team. This is one day before 10:18. And if you guys are not familiar with the verse in the Bible, in Luke 10:18, Jesus says, "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven." Okay? So again, electricity, lightning from heaven, Satan falling. And so that verse is 10:18, and the date that corresponds with that is October 18th, which is in 2 days. It's on a Tuesday. And so I'm going to show you how this is connected with Luke 10:18, how Ciara Wilson, Russell Wilson's wife, is involved in this, and how the Rolling Stones are involved. Okay? The first thing you guys need to know is that the drummer for the Rolling Stones died last year on August 24th. Okay? Which was after, well, actually, this trailer for the Rolling Stones was released on July 20th. So he died a month and a half or so after this trailer, The Blackout. And remember, guys, his name was Charlie Watts, like electricity. Again, it's so obvious. All right. And he played the song for the Rolling Stones that they used in The Blackout, where the electricity goes out. All right. So I'm going to close this because I don't need YouTube anymore. And I'm just going to move on to Ciara Wilson. I'm going to show you how she's tied to this drummer who died. Okay. And how she's tied to Russell Wilson, her husband, who, again, is all about the blackout in Seattle. All right. So let's go over the gematria. Let me show you all these numbers. And let me simplify this here for a second for you guys, because I got everything up. But I really want to talk about, first of all, you have the name of this drummer that died from the Rolling Stones, okay? And I want you to notice that his full name is Charles Robert Watts, and it equals 227. The full name of this wife of Russell Wilson, who did this cover, and again, predictive programming, guys, her full name, Ciara Princess Wilson, equals 227. So both of these people equal 227. I mean, what's the chances, right? And, they both did this song. I mean, she covered this guy's song, and she's married to Russell Wilson, of course. And also, the 92 is important here, guys, because remember, Russell Wilson's middle name, we're going to go to Russell Wilson now so you guys can see. His middle name is Carrington, right? And there's a history with this word and electricity, because the Carrington event. I'm going to show you. The Carrington event is, his middle name's Carrington, and the Carrington event happened in 1859, and it happened on the 1st of September in 1859, and it was a severe damage to telegraph stations, electricity. It was a solar flare, apparently. And again, what's the chances that the name of this electrical event is called Carrington? Russell Wilson's middle name is Carrington. His wife did a song that goes with the Paint It Black power outage with the Rolling Stones. And now you have the September 1st, which I'm going to tie into this as also. Okay. So basically, guys, so I just showed you that Ciara Wilson and Charles Robert Watts have the same gematria. They both have the 92. And this is important because as we go through here, you're going to see that the Carrington event in the same cipher, okay, the Carrington event, the electrical event that happened in 1859, has a direct match to Ciara Princess Wilson. Okay, I already showed how the Carrington event was tied to Russell Wilson, her husband. All right. Another thing that needs to be mentioned here is that the album that the Rolling Stones Paint It Black was on was called Aftermath, and it equals 92, just like the Carrington event. All right. The Rolling Stones equals 212. All right. And this goes with Seattle, Washington, because Seattle, Washington equals 212, if I spell it right. See, 212, and the Rolling Stones equals 212. All right. Now, to go along with more connective programming, let's talk about the Luke 10:18, because if you type in the phrase that Jesus uses, he says, Satan like lightning from heaven, okay? And if you type that in, you're going to get 244. And the reason this is important, guys, is because the day this Carrington event happened was September 1st, 1859. September 1st, guys, if I go there, is the 244th day of the year, okay? And 121 remaining. This is the Revelation numbers. Revelation equals 121. But the Carrington event happened on the 244th day of the year, okay? And like lightning from heaven equals 244. Also notice that the verse itself, if you take out some of these numbers, you're going to notice that the verse itself, if you type it out, Luke 10:18 equals 244, just like the quote in the very verse equals 244. Also notice that the Queen dying early this year, which was also predictive programming. If you guys don't understand that, go back and watch my other videos. Balmoral Castle is where she died, okay? And that equals 244. And the word sudden destruction equals 244. All right, so the 244s are tied with Luke 10:18, like lightning from heaven. If you type out the verse Luke 10:18, you get 244. And then you get the Queen's death, 244. And then you get sudden destruction, 244. All right, so another thing to mention here, guys, is that Charles Robert Watts, the drummer for the Rolling Stones, equals 115, and Power Grid equals 115, okay? Not in the same cipher, but it equals 115, see? And so you have all these things coming together perfectly. Not only that, guys, but if you type in the word 10:18, okay, Luke 10:18 equals 71, and the Seahawks play at Lumen Field, which is a light, right, knocking out the light, and they both equal 71. I talked about the 188 a lot in my last video, but now I want to talk about the most prominent number here that goes with the 10:18, because if you take the number 10:18 and you drop the zeros, you're going to be left with three numbers, and that's going to be the 118. And notice that the word Paint It Black equals 118. Notice that the Blackout equals 118. Okay? Another thing I want to really mention here is that if we go from Russell Wilson's last birthday to this 10:18 date, which is in 2 days, and notice, guys, that this is the 74 days left in the year, and Lucifer equals 74. Okay? But just notice that from Russell Wilson's last birthday, which was the 29th of November last year, to this to this day tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow Russell Wilson plays the Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers, right? And I told you guys in my last video that the Chargers have the lightning bolt and LA, right? Because that's where the power outage in that little snippet I showed you, where the blackout, it's in LA. And you notice that the Chargers and Seahawks, so the Seahawks, the Seattle and the LA teams play tomorrow, and the Chargers. And this is the day before the Luke 10:18 day. And this is also 10 months and 18 days, like Luke 10:18, after Russell Wilson's birthday. Okay, and it's the 3-2-2, Skull and Bones, 10:18. So you got the 10:18 after Russell Wilson's birthday. The next day is the 10:18 date. Here's your 10:18 date. All right, and this is 46 weeks after his birthday. All right, it's also 42 days before his next birthday, which is significant because Washington State's the 42nd state, and 42 is a huge number with war and many things. But the most important thing is here, it's 46 weeks after his last birthday, and if you guys noticed, paint it black equals 46. Also, a lot of things equal 46 that are part of this ritual. Chaos equals 46, and 19 like Seattle, all right? But the most important thing here is that it's 46 weeks. On 10/18, it'll be 46 weeks after Russell Wilson's birthday. Remember, the day he plays the Chargers, the lightning bolt, like Satan falling like lightning, it's 10 months and 18 days, like Luke 10:18, after his birthday. Now, the 10/18 date is huge, guys. I think we're either going to get an event on this day or we're going to get some more predictive programming. All right, but the big thing I want to mention here is that let's go to the 11/11 date, which was the founding date. If you guys have watched my prior videos, you're going to know why I'm talking about this date, okay? But I want you to notice that I want to measure from the death of the Charlie Watts, the drummer for the Rolling Stones, and I want to show you how crazy this is. So Charlie Watts died on August 24th, 2021, and if you measure, remember, guys, he died on the 129. And what does electricity equal? 129 days left in the year. He died on that day, and electricity equals 129. He died 444 days before 11/11/2022. So you guys make what you will with that. But come on, 444. Also, another thing I want to mention that happened earlier that year in 2021 is we had a cyber attack that took down the pipeline. It happened on May 6th, but it also took place between May 6th and May 12th, which, again, it holds the date in between that of 5/9. But what I want to do is go from the very first day that this cyber attack happened, okay, which was the day that this cyber attack on the pipeline happened. It's 555 days from that. So it's 555 days from 11/11 is 555 days from this cyber attack, the first day that it happened. And it's 444 days from Charlie Watts' death. Okay. In my last video, I connected the football player J.J. Watt. So again, they're telling us. But the biggest thing I want to show here is that from the release of that trailer, the Blackout 911 trailer, to the 11/11 date is 479 days. And if you guys remember, this is a prime number, and this is the 92nd prime number. This is huge because I told you guys that the 92 is Ciara Princess Wilson, the girl, Russell Wilson's wife, who covers the Blackout song, Paint It Black. She equals 92. The Carrington event equals 92, and the album that the Paint It Black was on equals 92. The Georgia Guidestones also equal 92, which they came down this year on George Bush's birthday. But what I want you to understand here is that the 92s are huge, and from the release of that trailer, the Blackout 911, it's 479, and that's the 92nd prime. Okay, so again, not a coincidence. That's the 11/11 date, guys. And again, I think I showed you pretty much everything I wanted to show, but it's very clear that this Ciara Painted Black was, I mean, I didn't even know this yesterday, guys, and I was talking about Russell Wilson being tied to this, and now you have his wife being tied to the Blackout 911. It's crazy. And there's probably a lot more to say here, For instance, with the 118s, there's a lot of stuff going on with the 118s right now. We're currently in the 118th MLB season. And the Phillies, the Philadelphia, like the Revelations Church of Philadelphia, they just made it into the next round and they could make it to the World Series, which they probably will. And they equal 118. So there's a lot of stuff going on with this 118 or this Luke 10:18. Because remember, guys, if you drop the zeros out of Luke 10:18, you're going to get the 118. So just, you guys can see probably if you guys have been following my work how this is all tied together. And yeah, so there's so much to say, but I just wanted to make it simple for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.